Hello, my name is John Watts. I want to welcome you to this video. I want to talk to you today about a question that we get sometimes when we're talking with potential clients about suing debt collectors under the FDCPA, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. And, they'll ask the question, well, do these cases typically settle? And the answer is they do not always settle, but they typically settle. Which then leads to the question, why do debt collectors settle these cases? So maybe they're collecting on a $300 debt and they get sued. Why would they pay $5,000 or $10,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 or more to settle a case? Well, there's a couple reasons. One, if you bring a good lawsuit, a legitimate, valid lawsuit where you have caught them doing wrong, where they are violating the FDCPA, well, then they know, hey, we've been caught. And so now no case is guaranteed, but really the analysis on their end becomes, well, we're almost certainly going to lose. The question is, how bad will it be? Well, for you as a client, they have to pay you actual damages, sometimes called compensatory damages. That can be maybe you should have had this interest rate and the debt collector knocked your interest rate up to here because they messed up your credit report. Or maybe they kept calling you at work and you got fired and you lost that job and you were making $50,000 a year. Now the job, all you can get is $30,000 a year. So you've got that gap between the 50 and the 30. It may be mental anguish, just the stress of dealing with these collectors breaking the law. And so they have to figure out, well, what is that value? And that might be $1 or it might be $500,000. It might be $20,000 or $50,000 or whatever it might be. So they have to start thinking about that. Then they have to say, if we don't settle, and we go through all this, so starting here at the beginning, going through all the discovery, depositions, interrogatories, all these different things, all the way through to trial, well, how much are they going to have to pay their lawyers? Maybe they have insurance, maybe they don't. Some insurance does not cover what's called the cost of defense. So they have to pay their own lawyer out of their pocket. So they're paying a guy, $200 an hour, $300 an hour, whatever it is. Well, they got to factor up that cost. And then if you're successful, they have to pay your attorney's fees. So the court will say, okay, from the beginning all the way to the end, how many hours did your lawyer spend on this? Is that 10 hours? Is it 510 hours? What is it? And then what is a good rate for your lawyer? Is that 200 an hour? Is that 400 an hour? Is that 500 an hour? What is the right amount to take into account the skill, the expertise, the reputation of your particular lawyers? And so they have to look at all this. Say, okay, well, we've got to pay the consumer X number of dollars because we could get hit in a verdict for that. We got to pay our own lawyers and we got to pay the consumer's lawyers. So then they look at all that and they say, okay, what are we willing to pay now so that we can avoid further pain down the road? And a case settles when they put enough money on the table for you that you feel this sort of reluctance to settle. It's like, I don't want to lose that. And if that number is also where the debt collector says, even though I don't like paying all this money, I would really be upset if we did not settle this case and went to trial. And that's when a case will settle, where both sides, however you want to think about it, they get kind of sweat on their forehead or they're kind of choking, to say no to the deal, they kind of have to choke a little bit. Well, it's probably the right number for everybody to settle. And that's why these cases typically settle when we sue them under the FDCPA in federal court or even state court in Alabama. It's because, well, they have to pay you, we have to pay their lawyers, and what do they have to pay us? And then there's another factor of kind of publicity. If they get sued and there's a big verdict, then will that encourage others to sue them? And so they have to factor that in as well. So I hope that this is helpful. If you're in Alabama and you're dealing with a collector, maybe you're wondering if they're abusive, maybe you're wondering if you should bring a lawsuit against them, feel free to give us a call. We'll be glad to chat with you. There's no charge for it. 205-879-2447, or you can reach us through our website at alabamaconsumer.com. Appreciate you watching this video and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.